Lads, welcome back to the second episode of Season 2 of the Havre Creator Cast. Last episode, we had Golden Nova on, and he had a lot of things to say, so I definitely recommend you check out that episode if you haven't listened to it yet. But today's guest, we are going to have Saku from Team Sakurasou on the podcast today. I'm really excited to hear what he's got to say for you guys. He's primarily a Market Watch channel that dabbles in a couple other types of videos, and I think he's going to have some really good things for you guys. So stay tuned to the episode, and if you're not already, make sure that you're following the content so you can get updates on future episodes, and just stay tuned with everything going on. Let's go ahead and jump right in today. So, I guess just to kick things off here, just for people that don't know who you are, haven't watched your channel for whatever reason, they're just living under a rock. We'll just kind of get a brief introduction of who you are. So I guess we'll start off.
I'm literally as big as Markiplier. I don't know how someone wouldn't know me.
Right, you're huge, dude. You're huge.
Yeah.
Literally to the moon.
Not even 4,000 subs, but yeah.
I mean, hey, you're still rolling in, man. You still got the people coming.
Yeah. So your boy's name is Saki from Team Sakurasou, aka Thomas. Here now, what I do on my channel is I do a lot, and I have plans to do even more. I do market watches 2-3 times a day. I have like investment type videos, you know, talking about card prices, all that. I have openings. I have a lot of giveaways. I'm trying to do 1 to 3 giveaways a week. Usually I'm hitting at least 2, but sometimes 3, just depends. I do Yu-Gi-Oh news videos. I go over cards. I live stream. I actually do deck profiles and other stuff like that as well, which is great. I actually did a deck profile recently that actually hit over 4,000 views. I don't even know how.
I think I saw that one pop up recently. I just don't remember. I don't think I watched it. I should have, but I don't know if I did.
The thumbnail's just way too cool.
That's weird. How long ago did you upload that profile? Because I'm not seeing anything.
Bro,
in the
not
videos
even,
here.
dude. Look at my popular videos. Like it says 2 months ago. No joke.
Oh, okay, 2 months. Okay, that's why. I was looking at like the first 12 videos on your channel. I'm like, I don't see a deck profile here, but I know you uploaded one not long ago.
Yeah.
That's
Man,
right. Yeah,
that-
you
well,
don't really
not
do a
to
whole
my
lot of
own
profiles,
horn,
which is fair.
But yeah, but to not even to toot my own horn, bro. I actually have a stellar one coming up.
Oh.
But that thumbnail looks so good. Sometimes I accidentally click my own video.
See, and like I mark all my
AS cards.
thumbnails so I know that it's mine. Oh,
So
man.
yeah, that's your boy.
Yeah, and you're currently sitting at looks like 3.83k subs, man. That's not bad. I think when we
Way more
first
than I ever thought I would get.
right, I think when we first met, you were actually still sub 1,000, if I remember
Below
correctly.
1,000. I
Yeah.
feel like it was below. Like
I think you were actually at like 400 or 500 only when I met you,
probably.
and that was back in my early days of being in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, back when I was on the Havre Card Man and hanging out with the Coalition of Scrubs. That was a while ago.
Oh yeah, man, the Coalition of Scrubs was. I remember that too. It sucks that didn't pan out.
Yeah, it was just there was too many people with too many life things going on, so nothing ever stayed consistent. And a lot of us are like, well, if we're gonna put in effort into YouTube, we're just gonna put it into our own separate channels. But yeah, no, the Coalition it was a fun time. It was a cool concept. It's just something that like I think would only really work with people that are already making content full time. And even then, it's not something that like full-time content creators would really want to do because it's gonna take away from their primary income.
Yeah, I
which
can
really
understand
sucks.
that.
But
It would be more like a thing like you would just pop in sometimes here and there or something like that.
right, yeah, it'd just be like a very casual thing. So, I mean, sitting at just under 4K subs, I know that you've grown pretty rapidly fairly recently. How long have you been in the YouTube game? Like, I see it says you joined 2018, but I don't know if you've actually been making content that long.
So I'll tell you kind of the start of the channel. Now, believe it or not, it's called Team Sakurasou because there were multiple people on it. Hard to believe if you watch my videos. I always have to make that joke. But I uploaded more like amateur videos. Like, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. You know, it would just be like, oh, well, what do we want to upload today, gang? Do we want to try something? We would hold like an Android camera and like film something. So like it would be shaky. We would just open whatever like we felt like at locals and just like we put it on there, right? But it was fun, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think I was 20 years old at the time. And I remember when I was in college, I kind of lost a lot of myself, right?
Oh yeah.
And so a lot of people were wanted me to come back to the game, and I was like, you know what? Let me give it a go, including some close friends of mine. I came back, we had fun, and for some reason, I just wanted to try it, and it went well. So I was just very casual with it. 2018, 2019. Now, 2020 is where I started taking it a lot more seriously because the fact that this was 3 years ago is
Yeah.
mind-boggling. Right? It's the fact that everyone already knows what I'm about to say. So, when COVID happened, I was like, I literally have so much time to upload now.
Oh yeah.
And that was in 2020, and I had about 400 subs. And I started trying to take it a little more serious in 2019, but I kept telling myself to put effort into other things, which, I was going to school at the time. I had a relationship, now married. Um, then I also had, I was doing like stocks. I also had my own job, as well. Like I had a lot, to do
Hmm.
basically. So it's not that I always kind of want to do YouTube more seriously in the back of my head, but I just never did. I just threw something up whenever I felt like it. But when 2020 again happened, I was able to do more. I got more involved in the community that year, and that's when I kind of like really, really began, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh no, dude, 100%. Honestly, like for a channel like yours, 2020 is like the perfect time to start getting really serious cuz like market watch content during 2020 was huge. Everybody was all over the market. They're like, "Well, I can't play in person, but I'm still going for my cardboard." Like they would not give up on it. I think that was some of the
Yeah.
craziest time in the market that I've seen since I came back into the game. It was ridiculous.
What's really funny is I got started on market watches, even though there was content I always wanted to do, by being on someone else's market watches for a while. And what happened was I didn't understand why I was only on his market watch, not doing my own market watches. I'm like, I should do my own market watches. And they just outperformed everything I was doing. And I was like, I loved being on his, like, I didn't even care about the views. I just loved being on his channel doing
Yeah.
market watches. Like, it was that fun for me. Like, you know how fun, like, I had more fun doing videos for other people at the time just because, I love market watches.
Mhm.
And when I finally got out of my comfort zone and I started doing market watches like on my own, because I don't know, I was just worried they would flop, and then I stuck at it. That just became the bread and butter of the channel, and like that's
Oh,
how
dude.
we're where we are this day.
Yeah, consistent market watch channels are like it's huge content. Like, yeah, sure, it's not evergreen content. It's very short-lived, but as long as you like keep doing the market watches, for the most part, it's relatively easy content. Like your biggest job is just keeping track of the market in general, which I know you already do naturally anyways. So like
I,
that makes
I have
it
a
it's a
fun
really
way.
yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you. My fault. Keep going.
No, it's just easy content to produce and to be able to put out consistently, and like I think that's something that really works because that short span that content's relevant, they can rack up views really quick because people are like, oh, what's the good cards to buy today? And there's always different perspectives because the market is so huge.
Yeah, well, when it comes to easy to be pumped out, here's the way I see it. Because I believe it or not, I've seen quite a few market watch channels that were smaller than me pop up. I think that maybe when people talk about market watches, you can maybe name only 3 or 4 people, and even then, I don't even think I might be in it, right?
Hmm.
Like when people think of market watches, because when I say market watch, what creators do you think? If you think me, that's
Uh,
fine.
Yeah, no, I mean, you and Fresh Off the Press are honestly the ones that I go to like almost exclusively lately. But for like the average person, you're gonna be imagining House of Champs, M Cole 40. Some cases it's MST.TV. They do a few market
You
watches here
literally
and
had the
there.
exact thing I was about to say in the
Yeah,
almost the exact order, but which is not a bad thing, mind you, right? But people need to understand. Yeah, you could pump this out, and it might not be very difficult, right? Because again, you are most likely using OBS,
yep.
and you're going on TCG Player, right? And you could kind of say whatever you feel like at the end of the day. So yeah, it's quote unquote easy to produce, but do you want a quality market watch? Like, do you actually want good quality and you want to come out there and you're like, wow, I feel as confident as a person making the video about these cards, right? or wow, I felt like I actually learned a lot, right? And that's what I do, right? Like I don't just like usually go on TCG Player and just start typing or whatever I want in, right?
Right.
Sometimes I just want to check stuff, obviously, or there's an old set I just want to go through, right? Because I just feel like it. But the way I am, best way I'm able to get cards is number one, I like to keep up with the OCG. There's players telling me things, right, all the damn time,
Oh yeah.
right? So I could keep an eye on that. I kind of like back before I did market watches. My favorite thing to do was deck profiles, and I still that love making decks. Funny enough,
Hmm.
like the creativity that goes in it is just really cool. I still have that passion when I made my ritual deck because it was very original. Granted, I did get inspiration from certain decks, but the actual creation is, my own. And when you do that and you see decks that are coming out, especially if you're a player like me that's been playing on and off for over 10 years, you can kind of think about the old days and be like, this is the perfect side deck card for this, right?
Oh yeah.
This is the perfect card to mix with this, right? This solves this deck's problem, right? Etc., etc. Or this could be used in the deck,
Yeah.
as well as being a vendor as well. Like some people will come up to me with like a stack of 100 cards to sell, right? Stuff like that, and I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I know every card price off the top of my head. A lot of them I do, right? And then it depends on what the who the player is, etc., etc. But sometimes I'll look up a card and I'll realize, wow, this is bought out, or this is more than I thought, right? Or wow, this card that was always a lot of money, this is less than I thought. Something like that. And I'm like, oh, well, let me look over it in the market watch, right?
Hmm.
And I could literally sit here and talk about how I choose the cards for the whole hour, but I'm not going to do that. But basically, if anyone is doing their own market watches, hopefully what I said could kind of help you a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, there's like plenty of things that you could follow. Like, obviously, getting all the information that you mentioned, getting from those sources is really good as well. But I mean, just generally being aware of the market is like, or not the market, of the meta is probably like one of the biggest things. Like, if you could have the foresight on what a format might potentially look like or what cards might be popular in that format, you can get ahead of the game very easily. Like, there's a lot of calls that I just completely missed. Like I believe you and Fresh Off the Press both called Droll for this format being a super good card, and I just barely got into it at like $2 a pop before it went up to like $4 or $5. I was like, whoa, man.
Wait, oh, which card? Sorry.
Droll and Lockbird.
Oh yeah, that was very very basic because of it's a certain rule with hand traps really. It
Yeah.
didn't even need to be the next format. It just happened to be the next format.
Right. Yeah. No, it's just you just got to be aware that like these things go in and out of the game too, and that's another thing. It's just knowing when you're at like a low point to be able to invest in cards like that and then find the moment for their highs.
Yeah. The
I
fact that I
mean,
do
yeah.
stocks too kind of helps as well. Like to be perfectly honest, like
Oh yeah.
coming
No,
back in the game from doing stocks was like, oh yeah, that's easy.
yeah, no, you definitely have history in that, which definitely makes that easier. I find that in actually a surprising amount of the Market Watch creators that I watch. I mean, it's mostly just you and Fresh Off the Press once again. I've seen a couple others though that have like some kind of history in either like stocks or crypto, and it's so interesting to see. I mean, it makes total sense. It's a similar idea, so I definitely get it.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just really
also
cool.
because, like, in my opinion, now well, I'll talk about crypto, my real thoughts on that in a second here. But I think the thing is that if you have the knowledge, right, and the drive to invest, it's not going to be in a card game like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh yeah,
No, it's not bad. If market's what you know in Yu-Gi-Oh, it's better than throwing money blindly at something else, right?
yeah, yeah.
That's not a bad thing, but you're gonna want more in like a stock portfolio, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I worked really hard in college because I was like, well, I already have a car, I have gas, I have some money for dates, to take like whatever girlfriend I had out at the time back then, and I could invest some of this money like every time I get my paycheck, and that'll make me more money, and I won't really like lose it, right? That was like one of
Yeah,
my
yeah.
ways I went through it, right? So I kept building up on my portfolio. And I would never. People always ask me, "Would you do a stock, like channel? I've been asked that actually quite a few times. And the reason I'm saying no is because funny enough, I actually like to play things like safer because I'm okay waiting X amount of time for a return. And it's like
Hmm.
no problem for me, as well as day trading is a completely different beast than when it was, or what it was, I should say.
Yeah.
Um, I've been hearing more horror stories than anything before. Um, and it's a more tricky beast, and people aren't gonna like the play style, which is a really, really cringe way of saying it. But the way I choose to play it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, as for crypto, I'm not a fan. I don't like crypto really. Like, I wouldn't ever actually put money into crypto or anything beyond. But I'm not too sure if I call it a scam. I mostly call it a pyramid scheme that you're either on top of or you're not.
Mm. Mm. Fair enough.
Personally,
Yeah.
right? Because like there are people they come up with a couple thousand, right? And it's like cool, but
Yeah.
like I feel like you should not be investing X amount into crypto if you do not have X amount into like actual stocks. My
Right. Yeah.
personal opinion
You
on
want to have
that.
a safety net for it.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry for digressing a little bit though.
No, no, that's all good. Like I said, this is totally a casual, just like basically it's supposed to be an off the wall podcast where like anything goes. So I like just letting conversations flow and find out where they want to be rather than like trying to stick to a script or anything.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, that's how I do my videos anyway. I mean, they're still somewhat amateurish.
I mean, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you still bring in the people, you still get the crowd together. I mean, it seems like you got a pretty good community behind you. Every time I'm on a live stream, there's like, at least lately, it seems like there's 30 to 40 some people in chat that are mostly actively chatting and actually having a good time.
Yeah, like seeing them have conversations with each other makes me kind of smile. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Dude, I'm still laughing at myself for the other night from when I just like pulled the Yu-Gi-Oh meme of players not reading with that judge ruling. That was so bad.
yeah, because look, I'm not a judge, right? Well, technically, I'm a level one judge, but bro, to be a level one judge is like nothing. Like that's
Yeah.
grueling. Like anyone here who's listening to this podcast, if you feel like accomplishing something today, right? Go take like the level one judge test. And trust me, you'll feel smart. You'll feel smart because me, bro, ugh.
So I need to get around to taking it so that I can actually make my local store an OTS and we can actually have prize support and stuff for our tournaments and not just have it be showing up for casual stuff. But yeah, I mean, I just like, I'm like, oh, I feel pretty confident knowing my rulings. Like this one should be fine. I open up the card in question. I read the first sentence, say, no, this doesn't work. And then somebody else in chat's like, no, this does work. And I'm like, wait, what? So I go back, read the card, and there's another half of the text that I just completely missed. I'm like, oh, yeah, that does
Dude,
work.
there's two sentences.
Yeah, I just read the
In
first
fact,
part
it's
and I'm
more
like,
like a
no.
run-on. Like,
It was a
Gorilla Can
conjunction.
is probably one of the shortest ultra rares that we've probably gotten in a long time.
I stopped at the comma. I stopped at the conjunction.
To be fair, that's all you usually need to read as a judge.
Well, I'm like, this is just a book of Eclipse Effect. I don't need to care about the rest of this. The rest of this is irrelevant. Turns out it wasn't.
Yeah,
It was too funny.
because it's like, yeah, because when it's the player has to send their own, it's a completely different ball game.
Yeah.
It's not
It
a bad
was-
card
it was
actually. I
just
play
funny.
tested. It was not bad.
Yeah, I mean it's got interesting setups. I think there's definitely a few decks that can be played in, but not too many.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be very good against Melfi, but that's just my
Oh,
opinion.
you have a hate for Melfi, don't you?
Not really, actually.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
It's not that I don't like it. I just like I tried the deck, and it's kind of like, how should I say this? I don't know how if I feel like I want to play it yet or not. As well as it was kind of like Exosister, where I built Exosister, I played Exosister, and I just hate playing the deck. Like it's very boring to me.
Exosister I'm not a huge fan of. Melfi I really like, but I think it kind of is just better off as an engine in either like Tri Brigade or Sprite. But
The thing is, though, is I love the artwork for not just Melfi, but Exosister especially.
yeah,
And I kind of wish I liked the deck.
right. I mean, at least if nothing else, they're cool enough to just have around and just have in your collection to look at every now and then.
Oh, I got rid of that hype. I don't know,
Oh
it's
well,
like
I mean, yeah,
regular-
with Exosister,
we
I
were at
definitely
a
get
point
it.
where regular Sophias were higher than CR, so like Sophias right now.
Oh
So I think
my.
Sophia's are like 25. Sophia's hit like 27, 28 for ultras back like a while ago, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not keeping this deck in the vault if it's worth this much, and I'm not gonna play it.
Yeah, no, I'm sad. I pulled a Magnifica after all the hype died. I'm like, oh man, that feels bad.
Yeah, it'd be like that though.
Yeah, it is what it is. It'll come back around, I'm sure. So I'll just hold on to it for a bit.
Yeah. Um.
So I mean, obviously, the channel's a good time. Have a lot of fun people talking about a lot of fun things, just being entertaining in general. Do you see this channel as like, do you plan to go full time with it, or is it just a hobby for you?
So very good question. I will never probably go full time with this. Like I've made that decision kind of early on because whatever anyone says, right? And I really don't care what anyone says. You get your first check from YouTube and you see it grow a little bit, your mind's going to start thinking about the future, okay? Like
Mm-hmm.
instantaneously. Like unless you're like you dreamt of a certain 9 to 5 or like a certain career, that's what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was like, well, the thing about YouTube is I know it's inconsistent, right? Because the way we grew up is we saw all these YouTubers warning everybody, right? And I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
talking like in the Yu-Gi-Oh scene, but just in general about, oh, how bad YouTube is, this, that. Like, I feel like complaining about YouTube is actually its own genre on YouTube, right?
Oh yeah.
And like, I remember when changes that people don't thought that were just default like truly happened, like let's say 7, 8 years ago, and how bad that was, right? All that, and I was just like, I would never make this my full time job, especially because the money's not good.
Yeah.
Like it's really bad,
You
actually. I
you
would.
really you really do have to depend on stuff other than ad revenue. Like you got to deal with like sponsorships or ads in the videos and stuff like that to be able to get by or selling merch, things like that.
Yeah, like do
You
I
really
like
have to
go
have secondary
Patreons?
income to support it. It's kind of rough.
Yeah, like, and that's exactly what it is. And then personally, I thought about Patreon. I just felt like I'd be too lazy. I don't have like YouTube channel membership.
Yeah, no, the
But
channel membership seems to work out pretty good.
yeah, and then but I also, since I don't want to like do YouTube full time, there's another reason for that. Man,
Hmm.
that English was so good, by the way. But the one of the bigger reasons is once you do something as a job and you do it full time, you're gonna see things differently and you're gonna do things differently, right?
Yeah,
And that could be that some people could see as a good thing. Some people are gonna see that as a bad thing. You might also just fall out of love with it, right? You don't really know, right?
true.
And because I actually like doing things for the game and I actually like making content, right? Now I'm not gonna pretend like there's a day where I don't feel a little burnt out or I'm like, I really don't want to do a video today because I just want to play my damn game all day, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because as right now as an adult, I just don't get a day free. Like usually I'm lucky if I get a few hours free, like the at max, right? I will never really get a full day free.
I feel
Unlo-
that so hard.
Yeah. So I try to keep Sundays for myself, but then I also like spending time with like my wife. I want to make sure I have enough time with her. I like take her out to places and try new things. Like we actually, it wasn't really new, but we went to a bowl arena that opened up somewhere
Oh,
near us,
okay.
like recently within the year, and we had a blast. I mean, it was expensive for sure, but we had a lot of fun, right? And they added a lot to these bowling places. Like like since 2020, like to stay open. Like I'm telling you, they have multiple ways. Like they have like an arcade now that they actually pay attention to.
Oh wow.
This one was more invested in pool. It was cool, but point is, uh, if I ever did it full time as well, I'd have to give up other things. Uh, and it's just plus I like what we're doing right now. Like if it's not broke, no reason to fix it, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
If I ever hit a large amount of subs, right? I would consider taking it a bit more seriously. Trying to hit 4 to 5 videos a week, right?
Yeah.
Like if I truly have that big of an audience, I would try to meet their expectations and I would mass produce a little bit, like
not to the way of some of these YouTubers with like 3 times a day.
Oh God, yeah.
Absolutely not. You don't know enough. Look, I have done I've done like 5, 6 videos in a week before, but that was just because I want to and it just happened that way, right?
Yeah.
I would never go really above 7, right? And usually if I double upload, it's because like news came out that I want to cover, right?
Oh yeah, no, news is like the big thing. Like you can't control that at all, so
Exactly. Like I'm looking forward to this ban list. Hey, maybe it comes out today.
I wish.
I wish. This man said I wish.
Yeah, it's so tough at this point to know when it's coming, bro. It's rough out here.
I got the news of when the date was. I just don't like remember where. But
You just lost the info. You lost the crucial information. The scroll
Yeah,
is
I
gone.
believe. Yeah. Oh no, I said 2 weeks last week. I think.
I'm
So
trying to
I
remember.
feel like
I think
it's
I do
next
remember
week.
you saying something.
Yeah, I forgot what I said because I'll be honest with you, it's gonna come out regardless. So if it was something about it, then I'd be like, oh, okay, then I'm interested, right? But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I've been waiting for that ban list just so I can make content because like I don't want to upload a profile, have a ban list come out and be like, oh well, this profile is dead. I need to redo it now. I just don't want to put all that work in. But if it's taken this long, I don't even know if it's worth waiting. Sucks.
Yeah, that's dude. I remember like sometimes you just have to wait for content. You have to wait to upload content for a ban list. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
Might do a ban list market watch today. Who knows?
Hey, there you go.
Might be fun.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, it's so weird too because like the OCG, they get dates, like they know when their list is coming out, and we're lucky if we get something that's like just vague enough to maybe interpret into a rough time frame of when the ban list may or may not come out.
We're lucky, dude. At this point, like if we get like a month, like hey, it'll come out in July, and that's it. We don't know when July could come at 31st, could come the 1st, right?
I would say
Could come
honestly, like
randomly
that's
on the
more
14th, like, 3
information.
in the morning.
That's more information than we have right now because the one they just put
Exactly.
before. Next update after this will be in a few months. Like, okay, thanks. It's been a few months. Where is my list?
I feel like ban lists keep the game fresh and fun too. Like at
It
least for a
does.
day or two. Yeah. Also, give me 1 second here.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Sorry about that. Allergies are just such a pain.
Oh,
bro.
you're good, dude. I feel.
Especially the last couple of days, dude. Like,
Yeah, no,
I
it's
don't
been
know
it's
what's
tough out
going
here,
on.
man. Springtime hitting hard. That hay fever coming in.
exactly. I'm like, man, I have to blow my nose like every time I stop talking.
Yeah, I'm starting to remind myself to take my allergy stuff in the morning just so I don't have to fight it as hard.
Yeah, man. But what was I gonna ask? So how's Fusion YGO? You guys are almost at 800 subs, right?
We're almost at 9, actually. We've been
Almost at 9?
cruising the last like month or so. Yeah, it was like last month I uploaded a Master Duel replay video of me getting hand looped by heroes on the same week that MBT went to a YCS with heroes and was on a feature match. So like I uploaded that video on a Thursday, and I just talked to Nova with him on the last episode about this, but I uploaded on Thursday. I checked it like Saturday morning. It was at like maybe 20 views. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll just let it sit over the weekend, whatever. I didn't expect anything of it. I woke up Monday morning and I'm like, I'm just curious. We'll just see where it's at. 2,500 views later. I'm like, what happened? And like it took me a while to realize, like, wait a minute, Joseph was just at a YCS with heroes, and I uploaded a video that has hero in the thumbnail. Okay.
Bro, I mean, yeah, plus like putting hero in the thumbnail, you're gonna get a lot.
Yeah. Well, and then just like every one of our videos for the most part after that has just like been ballistic compared to what our normal content is like. So we've had really huge growth this last month. Like just as of today, in the last 28 days, we've gained 66 subscribers, where like our average a month is like 20.
That's
It's
awesome.
been really nice for us this last month or so, and we've just been rolling out bangers after banger.
Yeah, like I'm looking a little bit over here, and I like it.
Oh yeah.
Like thumbnails look pog. Like for me personally, as a YouTuber, I'll tell you this right now. I can't speak for every YouTuber. You will never know what one of your most popular videos will be.
Yeah,
Like,
you have no idea.
yes, there are formulas for YouTube, right? But like, you'll just upload a video sometimes, and it just goes to the moon. Like, why did a Sky Striker deck profile uploaded 2 months ago land in my top 5 videos, like like view wise of all time? Cannot begin to tell you, right?
Probably because
You
of
know,
the new format. People go back to those old decks. They're like, oh, this might be good for a little while in this new format. It's weird how that happens.
yeah, like, like I look at my like top 5, and it's like, oh, well, I've had market watches hit like 3 something, okay, right?
Yeah.
Um, the only like top 5, well, not top 5, but in my top 5 most popular videos, there's only one somewhat dislike being there. And it's not even that I'm not proud of the video. It just shouldn't be up there. Period.
Right.
Is So 3 years ago, right? I used to do news videos, and I never really okay. The huge mistake I had is I never had time to like even think about making a thumbnail, right? I'd rather just like really, like truly, I just did not have a thumbnail. So, but I knew how to put images in and a few other things, right?
Oh yeah.
So it was there. Like I learned from my market watches, right? Because I'm like, no, this looks way too ugly, right? And that's actually one reason I think market watches helped me is because I actually started making thumbnails, and now I have like templates and yada yada.
Oh yeah.
But I remember I uploaded this video one day when Red Eye's Darkness Metal was getting an errata, right?
Yeah.
It's a 4-minute video, right? And it's not even like it's an awful video, right? It
Hmm.
just talks about the errata, what the errata is, I think we could get it, what it means, and I think I talked briefly about, oh, I like that Konami would rather errata card than full on ban it, especially if it has like very little chance of coming back, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, right? And again, this has no thumbnail, right? And to this day, the run has been out for longer. I think, yeah, it's been out for, I think 2 years or something, right? But to this day, this video still sometimes gets views, right? And even when the errata came out and afterwards, this video got views. Now, granted, it was like 80 to like 200 a month, right? So it wasn't like too crazy. But I was just like, what? The run has been out for a year. Why are people watching this video? Especially with no thumbnail and all that, like the most
Right.
amateur video about this. Like, and I remember looking at it, I'm like, did I tag it well or something? Like, I did not know what happened. Like, whenever I look at my popular videos, because once in a while I'll do that,
Hmm.
I'm like, why?
Oh
Like, it
yeah.
feels like an imposter Among Us type video.
It is weird to see older videos like popping up like that. And we've even noticed that on Fusion YGO too. Like I'm gonna update my stuff here because I have my dashboard open here. But that we have like I think it's a Goki profile that oh my god, where is it? Okay, there we go. Yeah, undefeated locals pure Goki deck profile titled June 29, 2022. Still our most viewed video on the channel, still gets views, and like even a couple of months ago it was still getting comments of people asking like, why aren't you playing this? And then Patrick would just reply, well, they didn't exist yet. That's why. It's just so funny to see that kind of stuff happen. It's like you're going back to this old of a video and you're expecting it to be updated for the modern format. Like, I'm sorry, bro. It's literally in the title.
That's kind of funny, honestly.
Yeah, no,
Like,
it's hilarious.
man, I mean, but at least that's a deck profile. Like some deck
Right.
profiles, they just do really, really good.
Oh yeah,
Like,
no, that's
I,
that's like our bread and butter.
oh yeah, I would argue, in my opinion, I would say besides maybe like Yu-Gi-Oh news, deck profiles are probably the most popular Yu-Gi-Oh content. I would say
Oh yeah.
that, maybe I would say I want to say openings, but I feel like a lot of people would rather just go to bigger guys for openings. They don't
Yeah,
ever really
like
go.
you already have to have an established audience for openings. Like anytime I do an opening, like nobody cares.
Dude, even for my shit, that's how it is. Like, okay, like let me explain this, right? Um, I decided to skip Sonic case wise because I told people that set is not going to be a set where you really profit much. Now, if you get the best Starlight or the Starlights are very good, I mean, hey, that might cover say closer to half your case there. Yeah, I guess you could profit, right?
Yeah.
But if you're betting on Starlights, that's it, right? Uh, and it's got 400 views, right?
Oh yeah.
For my opening, and I did it on I got boxes on sneak peek, right?
Oh, so
So,
you were in there early, yeah.
so yeah, I always try to get there kind of early, and again, it's like 400 views, right? If you're not established for openings, it's not gonna go well. Let's see what else here, because man, I actually used to open more OTS openings as well, but I just don't do that anymore.
Yeah, see, honestly, I think the new system you got for it now has actually been working just fine. Like just saving your packs to open on stream as like dono rewards. I think that's actually a really good idea. Because it's like it's not like the greatest reward for a dono, but hey, it's something, especially when you're asking for like such cheap donos. It's really easy for people to be like, all right, yeah, that's fine. And you get a couple packs opened out of it. You get the excitement of seeing if you get to pull anything nice out of it. But you don't have to go out of your way to upload just an extra video for it that people aren't really going to watch otherwise.
Yeah, that's how I see it. Yeah, like 700 views. You know what? Some of these older ones weren't like awful because like I feel like if I ever got big and I had the expendable money, I would throw a OTS opening and then save some for like later, right?
Yeah.
Like on live streams, all that, but yeah,
Oh, yeah.
man.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Early morning vibes. Still waking up.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest. I was almost tempted to just sleep in today. I hope you know that.
Oh, man. Honestly, if you had asked me, I would have just let you, but that's all right.
Nah, you're Gucci, bro. Hey, I'm happy to be here, right? Plus, now that I'm early, I actually have like, because I would have slept till 1 or 2, maybe even
Oh,
3. I
yeah.
have way more time to do things.
Yeah, you get the whole rest of the
So,
day to do stuff, including a nap if you need
exactly.
it.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like, man, bro, a nap when you're an adult is so valuable. They really need to have nap time.
They're so rare. They're so rare.
Yeah. So if you, this might be like a kind of a weird question, but I actually do have a question for you, actually.
Okay.
So, what do you think about the current state of the Yu-Gi-Oh space?
Okay, like the community
Yes,
is.
but I don't want I say community because like I'll be honest with you, the Yu-Gi-Oh community, they're like, well, there's toxic people. Yes, there are toxic people, especially online when you hide your face, of course. But what do you think of the space as in like the space that other creators like kind of have made, the community in general at large, right? Stuff
Oh
like that.
man. Ironically, this is actually a question I had for you, so we'll have you answer this after I do.
Yeah, I was about
Um,
to say, don't you reverse Uno me. I asked the
I
question
I
first.
I have a sheet. I had this question lined up. It was actually like one of the next ones I was gonna ask, so the
Wow.
timing could not be any better. Um, so how I feel about the community is it's like it's hard to say that there's like one Yu-Gi-Oh community as a whole because with all the different creators and then all the different things around the game, there's a bunch of these different like micro spaces within the Yu-Gi-Oh community. So it's not like it's not like one big unified group because you get the meta group, you get the casual Andes, you get the people that are there for the art, for the lore, for the anime. There's so many different groups around Yu-Gi-Oh, and you kind of get splashes of all of them all the time. But if you're talking like when it comes to being a creator, like the community that you establish and like the community of the other people around you that you see, for the most part, I see them as pretty decent. Just like with any sort of content or like any other sort of creator space, there's gonna be trolls. There's gonna be people that just come in and just want to argue for the sake of arguing, or don't even like argue. They just come in and say, "You're wrong, I'm right." That's the end of discussion. And it's like those people are kind of a waste in the community. They just exist.
Yeah.
I've been trying my best to kind of ignore them. Like if they at least leave it as like an open-ended thing for discussion, like, sure, I'll reply to that and I'll be like, okay, yeah, I see your point, but like there's this as well. And like if they start getting, snotty with me or whatever, then I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna ignore you then. Have your fun, I guess. But for the most part,
Yeah.
if there's just trolls, I just ignore them.
I got you. I got you. I guess I'll go ahead and answer it. It's actually kind of funny seeing the whole YouTube space, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the community revolving certain YouTubers, all that, because like I don't know, it was all so much different back in my day where I say this, but like of course being Yu-Gi-Oh is kind of niche on YouTube, right?
Oh yeah.
Obviously. I feel like definitely networking is a much larger part, right? Whereas like you see, like you really look at the older YouTubers and you kind of find this answer, where some of them are still going, but they're quote unquote unknown in a way, right? But
Yeah.
they'll have more subs than some of your bigger YouTubers, and people are like, why does nobody talk about this guy? But in reality, they started YouTubing in an age where you didn't have to have all the social media, constantly tweet or do this and that, right? Especially because
Yeah.
Twitter wasn't really that much of a thing back in like 2012, 2013, right? And it's kind of wild to see because you see like the older YouTubers like clash with like the, and I say this lightly, but like newer ish YouTubers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool seeing like the two generations and how different they are, especially because I YouTube with a bit of an older generation mindset, right? So one thing I did, and I still make this mistake, but I don't know, man. It's like the one part of YouTube I don't like. I cannot constantly be on Twitter. Like no, I can't, right?
See, I'm the
Uh,
opposite. I'm always on Twitter, but like I see those bad takes and whatnot, and I usually just skip them, or like I just read through them and just pass on with my day. I
it's
don't
not even like
respond.
really like the bad takes. Okay, well, we'll get to that actually, because that's gonna be a whole beast.
Yeah.
Um, but it's more like because a lot of people will build up the way you're supposed to make content nowadays and be quote unquote popular. You're not supposed to like do many videos first, which I just don't like that. I think you need experience and you need to make your mess ups before, right? And you need to like learn. Oh, I did this. Now I think this is better, right?
Yeah.
That's whatever you feel like, right? The more content you put out, the more you kind of feel in your niche. Blah 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 blah. Nowadays, it's like, well, you have to have a large, like, say, Twitter follower, or you need all this networking help from like the upper guys, right? And you need to keep at it, right? You need to like try to force yourself in certain circles, and like that works, right? At time for like some people and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so foreign to me, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I still see quite a like people giving the advice of like, you know, just start making videos because like you get your bad ones out of the way, you get that practice in, and then you're able to start like making your actual good content and then being able to market that good content to actually gain your audience. That's the most that I see. I honestly I don't think I've ever seen anyone be like, oh, you need to get a huge social media following elsewhere and then start making content. I can't say I've ever come across that take. That's interesting.
Well, okay, so I've just noticed through like I'm just gonna say Twitter especially. There's
Yeah.
some content creators that they have a ton of followers, right? They're getting a lot of people on social media, which is a bad thing. Obviously, you want to make videos, you want to be say like a creator, you want attention, right?
Yeah.
2 + 2 = 4, right? But like I'll go to their like YouTube channel, right? Or I'll go to their Twitch, right? Because I know that the YouTube scene they're trying to evolve more into Twitch things. Um, I think that's a good idea. I personally, for my content, I just don't need to really do that, especially because like when most of my people are on YouTube, if I go to Twitch, I'll have say maybe 10 people, right?
Yeah.
Whereas on YouTube, I'll get 15 people within the first minute, and I don't, or first 3-4 minutes. I don't even premiere, right?
Yeah.
I just tell them a time and I'm on at that time. And when but when I see like their channels and all that, I'm like, okay, well, you upload once a month. It doesn't do that great. I mean, it does fine, to be honest. Like, especially with someone who has very little videos, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Technically, it does good, but like, you know,
as someone, I compare to myself. I'm like, well, I don't have much social media presence in general, right? Some YouTubers, like, some YouTubers know me. Like, I've learned through a certain editor, right, and other things. Like, they're like, yeah, they know Team Sakurasou because I've come out in a conversation. I'm like, how in the fuck have these like people like learned about me? And I'm talking like larger people, right?
Oh wow.
Like I'm talking like above 20,000 subs, people where like everyone will know the name type thing, and I'm just like, huh, right?
Oh
But
yeah.
I'm like looking at these other people. I'm like, well, you have like let's say 4,000 people on Twitter. Why aren't you trying to converge this into content? Like,
Yeah, no, it's
and
so much
I do
harder
like
to
kind of
get
keep an
Twitter
eye on it.
followers. Yeah.
And I'm just like, huh, plus you have to tweet like so often. You have to, I guess, be quote unquote correct about things, right?
Oh
And I
yeah.
don't know. I'm just not a large social media person, like especially because when I get on Twitter, I just like randomly scroll through like X amount of things, right? That aren't Yu-Gi-Oh related. Like I've treated it almost like a personal.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I'm not supposed to do that, but whatever, right?
I mean,
Plus,
I kind of do the same thing. Like,
yeah.
I'll post video links on there. I'll be like, all right, I'll send this out. If it gets a couple views, it gets a couple views. I don't really expect much out of it. And then I'll just kind of post like random things. Like, I mean, I know you saw the other day when I posted my Change of Heart Royal Rare poll. That was dope.
And I think that's cool. I mean, like, I want to start trying to use social media a little more, but it's like one of the things where I just keep trying, and I'm like, man, if I ever get big, I'll just get like a PR manager maybe or something.
Yeah, no, I
Like, I
definitely
can't do this. Like,
I definitely don't try when it comes to Twitter.
I
I just post for
I'm bad
fun.
at that. Yeah, but hey, some people are good, some people are bad. You know,
Yeah.
what can I say? At least the content's fine. But like I said, it's very cool seeing like the contrast, right? On the ways like because going making social media now is or being big through social media, it's a completely different giant, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's something where I still take YouTube. I'm not gonna say casually, right? I treat it seriously, right? But
Mhm.
it's something that I always try to improve at, right? Like for example, I want to get back to my huge community now. I'm doing giveaways quite a bit. In fact, I will be announcing 2 giveaway winners probably today.
Hey yo,
Um,
hopefully I'm one of them. I know I at least entered in the first one.
yeah. Hey, hopefully, bro. Hopefully. I mean, with the way my audience is, because I get anywhere from like 15 to like 35 comments. I know it's like a large stretch,
Yeah.
right? 40, it all just depends, right? But I feel like if I do giveaways say like twice a week, eventually I like statistically almost everyone's gonna win once,
Oh yeah.
and I kind of
Yeah.
like that. I kind of like that,
It is pretty
right?
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm
And
definitely looking
then
forward to that.
yeah, and then what else was I gonna say? But yeah, I also kind of feel, and this is just my opinion here, and I've talked about this before on my live show. I'm not gonna name drop or anything like that because, if you don't like drama, you gotta do your best to not contribute to it, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, with some of the fucking situations I've seen you guys in, I genuinely feel bad for a few people involved. But there are times where people think they're trying to avoid it, quote unquote, and I'm like, no, you're getting yourself involved as much as possible.
Oh yeah.
Try to take the moral high ground, and then you get followers. Like that. Hey, you're getting the bag, right? I guess so. Whatever, right? But it's not gonna work on me.
Oh yeah.
But like I feel like sometimes there's a lot of drama in that space. Now, I don't feel like keeping up with it as much anymore just because I just hated it. Like, I was like, yeah, whatever, right? But I remember there was this one month where it was so bad. I'll name one content creator because, like, everyone kind of got on this person for what they did. That was the whole Jada situation. But that whole month,
Oh
right?
god.
Month and a half, right? That was just one thing. There was so much more, right?
Yeah.
That happened, and I started seeing the most abysmal takes, right?
Dude, I
From
forgot
some
about the Jada month. Oh my
yeah, and
god.
it wasn't even like the Jada thing, right? There was a lot more than just that. It's just
I'm just calling it the Jada month, so I don't call it another month.
Right,
That I
right.
have to give an opinion on. But I was just like even I with the Jada thing, even I said something, right? Like that was a month where I started saying stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Like I did my best. I truly did my best, right?
Oh, dude, that was a
Because
rough month.
yeah, and I no, and I just like I'm doing my best to stay out of it. I'm doing my best to stay out of it. I'm doing my best to stay out of it, right? And it's like,
Yep.
yeah, I can't stay out of it. There was some other things with that stem from the Jada conversation that I'm not gonna say it here, because it'll allude to something that could start something. And I just,
Right.
again, I'm not that kind of person. I at least try not to be, right? Because we're all human, we all mess up, right?
Oh yeah.
And it was just, it's pretty insane. I think it's definitely the month where like it's like Yu-Gi-Oh drama videos were like popular. I kind of was like, I mean it gets views, but I kind of hate it, right?
So if I remember right, I think that was the month when like Stevie Blunder really took off.
Yeah. He was making videos about a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it kind of kept it going, right?
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I will say this though, about the the YouTube scene, because that was, yeah, a bad month and a half, but we've had like months where we get into like extremely dumb shit. But one thing that'll always make me kind of laugh my ass off is whenever I see YouTubers genuinely think people follow them for their political opinions. Like that's
Oh
just like the
my god.
funniest fucking thing to me. Like, I'm gonna start a little bit, right? And I don't really care where you are politically. Like, I'm not so brain dead where like I will choose friendships based on political leanings. Like, look, I'm not on Twitter that
Yeah, no,
much,
have
right?
your opinion. I don't give a crap.
Yeah, like
I mean, if it's a bad take, I'll argue you on it, but I'm not gonna like not talk to you
I
because of it.
You know what's really funny? It's like I have friends who do this, right? Like I have a friend who we just I truly don't understand how we're friends, but we disagree 90 something percent of the damn time. Like we agree. That's actually probably putting it lightly. Me and him remember our agreements because there's not many. Like
Oh wow.
I know, like truly, like from the political spectrum to whatever, right? Not just politics, but anything, right? And like we will literally say, yeah, your opinion's shit, right? But like we're still friends and all that. But like on YouTube, you got like some of these opinions where not even just like politically, right? But they're so divisive, but they look like they're trying to unify, right? Like they're
Oh
trying,
yeah.
and I'm just like, and I just like look at it and I'm like, man, this really went to your head, didn't it? Right? And I'm not thinking a single person that we've mentioned so far, or I'm not gonna name drop, by the way, for anyone like listening here, is definitely not a one or two or a three people problem either. Like I'm thinking a plethora of names, right? And sometimes the YouTube drama gets so bad that people who are in the right look fucking dumb
Oh
and
yeah.
dislike. And that is how how I know when things go too far, where it's like, dude, I agree with you, but I wouldn't even say it. Like just because of the way you're acting with it,
Right.
right? Like people would rather listen to someone wrong but polite and kind than someone who's completely and utterly correct screaming their head off,
Oh yeah.
right? Like that's just some advice, you know, uh for it. I I don't know.
No,
It
it's
just is what
definitely
it is.
rough. Well, I mean, like we've been getting more drama in the Yu-Gi-Oh community in like the last month and a half. Not nearly as bad as the Jada thing, and I'm not gonna name drop either, but there has definitely been stuff going on, and I see it and I just scroll past it. I'm like, this ain't worth my time. I'm good.
I don't even know what it is. Like
I might tell you after that. I mean, you
yeah, just
probably
tell me
already do
after because
know.
I don't feel like keeping up. I make my YouTube video and I go mid.
Yep, yep. There you go.
Like that's how I see it, right?
Yep.
But man, bro,
Oh, yep. It's a cesspool out there. It really can be some days.
yeah, especially because like I know that okay, this is something weird dumb to say, right? But I've had this thought all the way to last year, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
2022 is where this thought really like jumped in my head, right? Especially when
I'm not gonna say who, but even though I've never really got into it with a certain YouTuber, now I've had conversations on Twitter with a YouTuber where I got ratioed, but it wouldn't be anything like toxic or drama related.
Right.
Like it'd be like for example, like I'll comment say on like House of Champs stuff, right? Like, and I like House of Champs, right? He's helped me with something huge in the past. I really owe him a lot for it. Really nice guy, right? But long story short, like we would have like a convo and I'd get quote unquote ratio, but it'd be a fun combo, right? Or I think it was not MBT. I think it was Hard Leg Gaming or something, right? Where,
Oh yeah.
he was talking about like Max C, and I'm like, oh well, I think this about Max C, and then he rebelled, but it was good, right?
Yeah,
I got
actual
ratioed,
discussion.
but, it was good. but it was fun, right?
Yeah.
And there's stuff like that. I like that, right? Like I love the conversation, right?
Yes.
But like when it comes to drama, again, this started like in 2022. I kind of digressed really badly. This is the main point of what I was saying. Like even though like I don't interact much, I feel like there's going to be a day, right? And this really happened when I got blocked by a specific big YouTuber and I have a feeling I know why, but if this is the reason I got blocked, I have a lot to say. But and it wasn't for like a bad joke or anything like that. It was very minuscule. But I just had the feeling that one of these days I am going to get involved with some bullshit. And I know if I ever get involved with drama, I'm on like the burnt end of the stick. I will eventually not care about getting involved in drama or not giving my takes on drama because it's like, well, I got nothing to lose at this point,
Oh yeah.
If I could but if I'm able to stay immune for as long as possible, and I'm talking like some real bullshit. To be fair, by the way, right?
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
not I say something. Let's say I get ratioed. I'm saying ratio in like a funny way, but you guys know what I mean, right? I don't care like really about that, right? Especially if it's like about a combo that's like healthy or cool, right? Like I've talked about, like when I come on House of Champs or like I comment. I think it was Hard Leg Gaming, and
Yeah.
it was like a fun discussion, and everyone was all chill, and the feedback was cool, and the opinions getting seen. I really like that. It's got to be something serious, right?
Oh yeah.
But again, I'm not really like a dirty person like that or something like that, so I doubt it's gonna happen. But I've seen what happens when you get a tiny bit involved, so I would just avoid it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be on the opposite end of watching a Stevie Blunder video one of these days. I'm just be like, damn, he's wrong.
Oh boy.
Like it's salty.
Yeah.
It would be so weird watching a drama video about yourself. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. That would be beyond awkward.
Like, can you imagine watching like a Stevie Blunder video and you're like, he does the exposition, whatever, and you're like, wow, this guy seems like an asshole. And then it's like, yeah, and then Fusion YGO, makers of the deck profile, you're like, ah, shit. Like,
You gotta like hold back from going off in the comments, be like, no, this is incorrect. Stop
yeah,
the record.
you're just sitting here like, damn, I was about to agree.
Yeah.
But man, but yeah, that was a long answer.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely got into it. That definitely went its way. So it is what it is.
Yeah. So what's the next question, my man?
So we're getting close to the end of the show here. We're gonna finish up with a couple of quick questions here, relatively, anyways. Just kind of stuff I like to ask everyone, just kind of get their perspective on it. So if you had to start your channel over, like just completely clean slate, what would you do differently?
What I would do differently. Funny enough, I actually talked a little about it. I would probably sit down and like try to learn more about social media, how it works, how to gain followers, all that. Because if I'm want to take it somewhat seriously, it's something that it's in my best interest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Start a new one. I would do my best to try to keep it like, look, let's try to keep it mostly Yu-Gi-Oh! Related, right? I don't think anyone keeps everything like fully Yu-Gi-Oh! Related. Like they'll like follow some other like accounts, right? Maybe they're like into fighting games, so they might talk about fighting games. I think that's good, right? You are a person outside of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh yeah.
Right? So I actually like when I see creators not do that, but like to a certain extent, right? Like if you're following, say, 400 accounts and only like 100 something of them are Yu-Gi-Oh, it's like, you know, like, and you're trying to build a brand, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, you're trying to build a brand, not trying to. You're just not like a random Twitter user, or whatever, right? You know,
Right.
it might be good to like cut back on that a little bit, like say, right? Again, I don't know about social media, so someone could probably go off on me in the comments here. But I would probably do that. But I probably, I mean, I don't know. It would suck to lose my channel. I'll tell you that. I'll leave it there.
Yeah. So I mean, basically, if you had to start over, what it would boil down to is you'd put more effort into marketing. Then is what I'm understanding. I mean, marketing through social media, of
Absolutely.
course. So it's free marketing basically.
Yeah, absolutely. I try to get a bigger head start because I'd be like, look, I want to get back to somewhere where I was,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But
No, I mean that's totally fair. That's definitely something that a lot of people overlook. They're like, "Well, I'll just throw out videos and it'll grow over time." And it's like, yeah, that's all right. It definitely does help. But you need to branch off and have like other platforms to funnel into the one that you care about. Like, I've been considering trying to do TikToks lately. It's just like with the way that we record and the videos that we do, it's hard to format for TikTok. And I
yeah,
just don't like streaming on Twitch, like the reason you mentioned earlier. If you're primary on YouTube, you're not gonna get as many viewers on Twitch. You pretty much have to start on Twitch and move to YouTube.
yeah, that's exactly how it goes. And then that yeah, I don't really have anything to say, but I fully agree.
Yep. And closing out here, any final thoughts or advice for other content creators?
Oh, easy. Consistency. Just be consistent, right? You're not like, you know, some of these other YouTubers where they can upload once or twice a month and they're fine because they have their audience. Okay, you need consistency, and you need to like, I think improving quickly. Like, yeah, you can improve slowly, but you have to try to improve quickly. And the best way I do it is I have like one goal a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't had that this year just because I'll be honest, this year was really rough for me. Had a lot of problems, you know. So did my best to go through them, all that, but again, I'm not gonna digress here. But it's consistency. Have a goal every month. It can be something simple, right? Like one of my goals, right, was getting a mic, right? Because I
Yeah.
had a headset mic. And nowadays with technology, it's not like back in my day, right? Where mic quality would actually like it would help set you apart a little bit, right?
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of people they recorded on a headset or, you know, a cheaper microphone, all that, right? Like if you had a really, really nice mic and you were like a smaller YouTuber, that played into the factor of you getting bigger, really, right?
Oh
It still
yeah.
does to this day, but people would really notice that. Nowadays, everyone could go get a Blue Yeti for $70, $80 and call it a day, right? Everyone apparently has their own podcast nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be honest, bro. We need to start banning podcast equipment. Some of y'all are very dumb.
Oh.
Like I'm all about not in the YouTube space, by the way. But just like in general, like
Damn, bro.
I see highlights of some stuff, and I'm like, yeah, yo, go find a new hobby.
Yeah. I mean,
Nah, I'm just playing though. I'm just
I've
playing.
definitely I've been invested in this stuff for a while. I'm recording on a $200 mic that's set or hooked up to like $150 oh my god, preamp basically. Like I've got all the equipment. I mean, because I also have a history in film, so it's like I just
Yeah.
had most of this equipment already. I used to shoot on a $400 mic, but then I found this one worked better for the situation. The other one was meant for more run and gun stuff. This is a stationary mic.
Yeah, I got you. Like even for me, bro, like looking at like how technology has improved, like right now, I'm actually not even on my mic. I'm on my headset.
Whoa, that's a solid headset then, man. Because honestly, you sound pretty crisp over here.
Yeah, because and it's well, here's the thing. I actually never recorded on this headset, and I might want to try it out. But the thing is, like, I have a mic and like the arm and everything, but when I play games, it's very inconsistent, right?
Ah,
Because it's like it's right in front of me, right? And it's just inconvenient to have, right? So when I'm on Discord or I'm playing games with buddies, it's just so you'd rather have a headset, right?
oh yeah.
Like with my setup, and so whenever I'm on Discord with someone, I switch to my headset. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. I guess that works.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
But
I
yeah,
think.
just consistency, goal for
Yeah.
every month. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I mean the goal for the month is something that's pretty cool. Definitely I recommend making sure it's something attainable. Like sub goals are kind of an awkward one to do because that's not something you can really control. That's just like if you're I mean you can push yourself to like try to get it to be a more likely outcome, but if you're going off of sub goals, it's like you're depending on your audience to be the ones to click that subscribe button.
Yeah, exactly, right? Sub goals, I'm not saying sub goals are bad,
Yeah.
but for me, I think it's like a quality of life thing where it's like, okay, get a mic, right? 1 month, right?
Yeah.
Learn how to make thumbnails, say second month, right? Maybe, something, right? Start trying this series, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It can
Something
be,
you
it could
can play a
be,
part
it could
in.
be anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you hit goals, it helps you stay in the game.
Oh yeah, it gives you something else to focus on other than just your numbers.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I looked at my numbers the other day and I think it was like only 6% of the people who watch my content are subscribed. I was
You
like,
just
what's
tell
going
them that.
on?
Be like, can we hit 6.5?
Yeah, honestly, I hate to be that guy. I might almost have to.
Yeah.
Oh man, but. Anyways, brother, I think that's pretty much all I got for you today. It's been a good time having you on. I definitely look forward to having you with some other stuff in the future. We got to start collabing again anyhow. So,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, bro. Dude, I want to end this series off on one thing.
oh yeah.
If you find someone you like and you vibe with them, go collab with them. Like, I don't know. It feels hard. It's difficult for me to approach people to collab nowadays. I don't know if that's like a me problem or I just see how they act sometimes and I'm just like, I don't want to talk.
Oh,
I don't want to
yeah.
associate with them.
Well, that's kind of
Like
what I'm using
this-
this podcast for is to start those collabs because like otherwise I wouldn't reach out to people. A lot of them just don't respond.
Yeah. Man, but yeah, keep going, man. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh no, you that was it. That was it.
Okay, I get excited. I ain't gonna lie.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
You were in the middle of I cut you off.
Did you?
I think so. I thought you were saying something. That's okay.
Man, this podcast is lit.
Oh yeah, the ADHD cast. Here we go.
Oh man. No, but goals, something, blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, I've collabed more this year in like the last 30 days than like the entirety of last year.
Oh wow.
No, I just stopped for some reason. I was like, dude, I just kind of want to do it by myself for a while, and I just did.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going your own way though. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, collaborations do help because it gets you exposed to more people more often. But I mean, being able to do your own content, there's a nice thing to that of not having to deal with schedules. Schedules, man, they are rough. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all I got for you today, my man. So yeah, once again, thanks for joining me today. And like I said, we'll have to figure out something to do here sometime soon. But for all you guys listening, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys all in the next episode of the Havre Creator Cast. Peace out.
Peace.